Hi, this is Deborah from acomfortinghand.com, and today we're going to learn how to create this grain which you can use in digital art or in art journaling. So I'm using paint.net, which is a free application which you can use as well. So to begin, you notice that I have my desktop set up with my tools showing my colors and my layers. If you don't have that, you can click to Windows, select the options, and set up your desktop that way. So to begin, I'm going to start a new image. And when you set up this image, you want to make it quite tall. So I'm going to make it about 14 inches tall and 8 wide. Click OK. And you're going to want to fill the background in with black. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to flip these, and we're going to have a primary of white and a secondary of black, but we're going to take the transparency down to 0 for the black. And we're going to use this gradient tool. So we're going to use the gradient tool to create some bubbles. And you want to create some bubbles that have a little bit of a different shape in a couple of places, just so that you don't have just circular grain pattern in your wood. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Then the next thing we're going to do is use an effect called clouds. So we're going to select effects, render, and then clouds. And these are the settings. Click OK. Then we're going to use an effect called bars. Now if you don't have all of these different effects, you can download the plugin. So this is the settings for bars. I'm not really going through a lot just because I want to make this a short video. Click OK, and then it should look something like that. And then we're going to do something called an adjustment. We're going to use an adjustment called posterize, sorry. And you want it to be about 18. And see how that creates the different levels that are going to be in your grain. And then we're going to use another effect called photo and high pass. Now this is when it really starts looking like wood. So there's a couple of options. If you really want it contrasty, you can turn off this sharpening image, which will give it kind of a burnished wood sort of look. If you want it kind of to look burnt, I'm going to turn that off just because I want it to look kind of flatter. And then play around with this. This will change the grain of your wood, just the depth of the grain that you'd like to use. This radius really should remain somewhere around 8. I like that, so I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to stretch this. So I'm going to make my image larger. Just go to image canvas size, and I'm going to make my canvas size, about 4 times larger on the right. I'm going to make sure this is in the middle, and I'm turning off aspect ratio. Click OK. And that gives me a big canvas. So now I want to select this square. The easiest way to select it is to use the magic. Select the one side, hold down your control key, and then select the other side. Then we're going to edit, invert selection. That is going to invert it, and I'm going to use this move button, and now I'm going to stretch it. Now see how stretching it all the way to the corners makes that wood look for you. And then the next thing we're going to do is add some color. So to add a color, you're going to insert a layer, and we're going to use the bucket again. We're going to select a color that's kind of orangey, which tends to be much more natural. And if you have transparency, you want to turn the transparency off like that. And just fill in that, and don't freak out if it does that. We're going to go to the layer properties, and we're going to select multiply, or if you want to, you can select color burn. So have a play with these, and that is how you create a wood texture using paint.net. Visit me at acomfortinghand.com.